Hey, what's going on? It's Ollie at Spinning Yarn on a very nice Friday evening. How's it going? How are we getting on with this pandemic? Are you struggling on? Obviously, we had an announcement from Mr. Johnson himself the other day, giving us, some sort of route back to normality, which I, for one, cannot wait for. It's dragged on, hasn't it? And I think, the first lockdown, it wasn't so bad because we had that nice weather, didn't we? It was spring, summertime. You could get out, you could go for a run, you could have a barbecue, you could, go out cycling on your bike. Um, I've seen a few cyclists out today actually. Now the weather's been nice. That's something I'll never get really, cycling. I think it's great that people get out and exercise and then they're burning calories and they're getting the fresh air. But I think it's the attire, what people wear that baffles me. You know, you'll get blokes in their 40s, 50s, and they'll be buying the latest lycra to shave half a second off their Strava time. Uh, but they won't tackle the argument they have with Mr. Kipling at 8 p.m. every evening in the cupboard. It's like, I'll knock half a second off, but like 3 stone of excess weight now. We'll leave that for another time. So yeah, fair play to them. Like, crack on, lads. Keep shaving the legs, pushing on. Appreciate that. So you know, I've moved the podcast to the bedroom. So last time I was in the storage unit I've got with the gym, but I just thought it was a bit echoey. I've moved all the room around, and do you know what? The room feels better. I don't know. I just feel like I walk in and it's nice. I appreciate the room, and I thought, why has that made a difference? Just moving where my wardrobe is, moving where the desk is. I've lit a candle. I'm one of them guys now. Candles. I never really appreciated them. It was something. I walk in someone's house and it's a nice smell. But it was never something I really thought to buy myself until recently. My friend, I went to their house pre-lockdown, for you fucking virtue signalling pricks. I walked into their house, and this lovely smell hit me, and I suddenly had this wave of nostalgia, however you say it, hit me in the face, and I was trying to pinpoint, what that smell was, and I was trying to work out what it was, and I realised it took me back to when I was 10 years old, and it was those Fireball sweets. Do you remember them? It used to come in that little box, bright red. It was a guaranteed trip to the dentist and a root canal to follow that up as well. But it was worth it. They tasted delicious. I used to put them in my lemonade and it used to make it turn red. Anyway, I'm rambling. So yeah, I've moved my room around. I feel like it's better acoustics. I had to Google that as well because I'm an idiot. So the word I was looking for when it makes it less of an echo in here is the acoustics. The acoustics are definitely better in here. But yeah, so feng shui is when you move the room around and the energy of the room feels nicer. It's called feng shui. There's an actual term for it. And there's a whole culture behind it and people trying to pinpoint what gives you maximum feng shui. It's really interesting. I went proper down the rabbit hole of it. So yeah, my feng shui is through the roof now. Friday evening, I usually treat myself to something tasty really. I eat pretty well in the week. I don't know, I just feel like when I eat healthy, I feel better. Your body don't feel as sluggish. But on a Friday, I usually let myself just go ham. I'll have whatever I want, I might order a Chinese curry or something. And I live with a housemate, and he said to me, what have you done for dinner tonight? And I said, I haven't done anything actually. And he was in Waitrose at the time. So he got us one of them, the takeaway bags sort of meals. So it's basically like a takeaway, but in the bag there's Tupperwares of, we had an Indian one, so you get the tikka, the korma, the mini naans and the Bombay potatoes. And, Waitrose, you expect the best. And when it came out of the oven, unfortunately, COVID must have hit the chicken population hard, because there was a grand total of 3 pieces of chicken in the whole meal. I'm not joking. So I was distraught really. Waitrose You know, when you're hungry, you know, and you're really looking forward to a meal, especially when it's like a takeaway S sort of meal, and you get disappointed. It's like getting kicked in the nuts, really, isn't it? And that's how I felt. You know, I felt let down by Waitrose. I'd never really been in there myself, but I knew it was supposed to be of a high quality. Well, actually, that is a lie. I did go in last month for the first time, and it was a hell of an experience, I must admit. Let me just move this shit. Yeah, so I pulled up to Waitrose in a Renault Traffic. I don't think anyone around those parts has seen a Renault Traffic before, the Waitrose population. I think they assumed I was here to repair a vending machine or just do some maintenance on the building, on the Waitrose building. So I got in there, got out of the van. I was greeted by the faint smell of clutch in the air. You know, because by the time you're old enough to own one of these Range Rover Sports or Maseratis that they all have at Waitrose, you don't really have a fucking clue how to drive. You know, you've lost that ability, really. So I think you just let the clutch out and just redline it and just hope it gets you out the Waitrose car park. So you're always greeted with that smell of clutch when you actually, you know, get out. So I'm walking up to the door. There's a big security guy in the door, and everyone's got their, you know, anoraks on and parkas and, you know, nice blazers and that, and I rock up in a hoodie. And I was made to realise that walking into Waitrose with a hoodie on, it's a bit like, well, you get the same sort of reaction as you would burning a Bible in front of a Christian. You know, obviously we've got the pandemic going around at the moment, and you have that thing, don't you, where if you cough or splutter, then people immediately jump like Zebedee out your way about 5 foot, and they're like, look at this guy, he's trying to kill us. Well, that was a mild reaction, really, compared to the reaction I got when I walked in with a hoodie. So, you know, you have a little cough and a splutter, you get a little, yeah. You walk into Waitrose with a hoodie and it's like, you know, absolute horror. So anyway, I proceeded in there. Real nice fit out in there, nice wood finish. It's absolutely lovely. You know you're in quality as soon as you walk in. And, you know, the prices ain't actually as bad as you think they're going to be. You know, you get your cheeses and that at £3 for a block. Appreciate that. Some of the stuff's a bit outrageous. I mean, £9 for a ready meal. Jesus Christ. Jesus wept, should I say. Absolutely madness. And I was after a nice pizza. I felt like I'd get myself a nice pizza. I've never seen such toppings before. You know, I was just after a pepperoni or something, but, you know, you ain't going to get that in Waitrose. So what I ended up with was a wood-fired king prawn, garlic clove and chili oil pizza. I mean, you ain't going to find that down Lidl, are you? No disrespect to Lidl. So I was quite impressed with that. And I'm walking around trying to find a few of the bits and bobs. And the shop assistant, he says to me, can I help you with anything? And, you know, I was looking over my shoulder, seeing if someone else was behind me, and I was like, no, I'm all right. He said, well, do you want me to get you anything? And I was just blown away by the level of customer interaction you get. You know, down Lidl, I usually have the staff turn to me and say, like, what the fuck are you staring at? You know, and you just move it along swiftly. So, yeah, I was impressed by that level of interaction that I got down Waitrose. So I got everything I needed. It come to about £128.40 for 4 items. And I got to the self-checkout. And I was scanning everything through. And, you know, unlike Tesco and Lidl and that, the self-service checkout, it doesn't have one of those scales on it. So, you know, down Tesco, you scan something and it says, please proceed to bagging area. And it weighs it, you know, because they want to make sure that you're not trying to blag a bottle of Jack Daniels through as a single green bell pepper. In Waitrose, they don't have that scale. They just assume you're going to do the right thing. It's madness. It's like once you get to this point in your life, once you reach and enter these doors of this monument to middle class society, crime ceases to exist. They just assume you're going to do the right thing. So, you know, that was my mind was blown just over that fact. And bless them, I think the person in front of me must have been a little bit hard of hearing because, you know, I scanned everything through, pressed the proceed to payment, and it said, please insert card. And I thought, Jesus, you know, nearly blew me out the door. So, you know, it said, please insert card, and I was thinking, well, I want to pay cash. you can't pay cash on these Waitrose self-checkout systems. It's insane. So I'm looking around thinking, well, where the fuck do the gold doubloons go? What is it? Cashier's check? I just couldn't work it out. They don't accept cash. Madness. So in the end, I had to go talk to a human, and he would accept my English sterling in cash form, which was absolutely great. Very well spoken gentleman, and as well. So yeah, that was my experience down Waitrose. Hell of an experience. I would go back again, but like I said, the takeaway bags, I'd give them a miss because it's supposed to be chicken, and they missed out the chicken. Anyway, so I've had a email from someone. If I just get it up on my phone, I was glad someone emailed me. I really did think after the intro to the podcast, no one would actually give a shit to send me an email. Hang on, bear with me. And it's from Charlie. And Charlie asked me, what is it really like owning your own business? So, what's it like owning your own business? What does he mean? In general, I guess? In general, it's stressful as fuck. And little to no payoff. Everything falls on your shoulders. And you go home and cry yourself to sleep. That's pretty much how I sum it up. But I guess here and there are some little benefits, I don't really have to answer to someone, which is a massive, massive thing for me, because I absolutely hate being told what to do. I hate it. If you tell me what to do, I will pretty much try and just go the opposite way. There's ways you can talk to people, and there's ways, you can be told what to do, and I don't mind that. I've had managers and that before, but I think it's when people are getting a kick out of telling you what to do. I hate that shit, and they know there's nothing that you can do to avoid it. You've got to listen to them. I hate that. So I think that's the major benefit. I don't have to put up with that. I don't have to put up with any fucking moronic manager that's getting a kick out of the power he's got in life. So that's the main benefit. And I think the thing with when you're working for yourself is you work your tits off 12, 15 hours a day. It never stops really. It follows you home, and you don't really see like an immediate benefit to it, and that can be quite hard on your mind, because it does take a long time of throwing you at these long days before you see you're actually getting anywhere. And what I've learned is you need to set yourself shorter term goals or medium term goals. You can't just be long term goal, I want to be successful, or I want whatever. You got to break it down into smaller goals, otherwise you will go mad. You need some sense of achieving something. You need to break it down into smaller chunks. So that's what I do now. I write a list of goals that could be a week-long goal, it could be a daily goal, it could be a monthly goal, and then I have my long-term goals, and I can step back and look at that and think, yeah, do you know what, I might have fallen short of maybe the year-long goal, but on 9 of the 12 months I did manage to hit my monthly goals, and that's very important, because otherwise you can just throw yourself at work and feel like you're not achieving anything. What else? Owning your own business. Madness. Surreal, really. Obviously I opened the first Oliver Joseph gym at 24 years old. I was a baby. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I still don't have a clue what I was doing. And I think this is another thing, You can do it. Anyone can do it. I'm just a normal bloke. I'm a fucking idiot. I am a fucking idiot. I have to Google everything. Absolutely everything. And you read all these things online about, your step-by-step guide to opening a business and stuff. There ain't no guide. There's, I'm sure there's general things you can do, but there ain't no step-by-step process on how to do it. I think the most important thing is just doing it, If you've got some idea in your head about what you want to do and you're passionate about, you just got to get out there and do it. And the rest of it will follow. You'll learn. We've never had so much access to information in order on how to do things. YouTube, Google. I mean, with this podcast, I've never edited anything in my life, and I'm sure there's people listening to this that think, "Oh, your treble's way too high," or whatever. And I'm sure I'll learn as I go on how to sort that stuff out. But I just Googled it, just YouTubed it, and you just wander through. And as long as you're going in a general direction you should be, it's all good, man. You're going to go wrong. You're going to fail. You're going to fuck up. Lord knows I do most days. Tell you that for free. But I think it's what it is at the moment and the society we're in. You're not allowed to fuck up. Yeah? People will jump down your throat at the smallest thing. And you've got to be so careful now, especially on social media. You know, you're walking on eggshells because people who have nothing better to do, they're on Facebook all day, every day, Instagram all day, every day, and they're just waiting to jump down your throat. You're not allowed to enjoy anything now. Nothing's allowed to be positive. You know, there used to be a few pages on Facebook that I used to enjoy following, and one of them is that IFL Science, and they used to post up some really interesting stuff. And a few years ago, you know, there might be a new species found and you'd have people like, oh, wow, that's really interesting. And, you know, I'd love to see one of them in real life. Nowadays, honestly, they could post up, oh, you know, unicorns have been spotted in Devon. And you'll get some twat saying, oh, well, it's, you know, it's probably just a fucking horse with a party hat strapped to its head. Do you know what I mean? They've got to be cynical about everything. There's no magic left anymore. So where am I going off on this tangent? You know. You just got to make sure that... I don't even know where the fuck I left that. Anyway, so Charlie's second question was, what made you want to do it in the first place? And to be honest, it was probably the fact that I'm a narcissistic little prick and I thought I could do it better than everyone else, if I'm being honest. But I started training from when I was about 15 years old. I really got into my training. You know, I've got all the body proportions of a borrower. And I was really skinny. I didn't have very much confidence whatsoever. And I wasn't able to assert myself into any situations. I don't mean in an aggressive way, but, you know, with work or whatever, I'd always get walked all over. So I think the gym was really the stepping stone to some sort of confidence for me. And, you know, really helped me to build up my self-esteem. And that was, I started training at the young age of 15, and the gym was next to the school, so I used to be able to go there every day. And I just loved it, and I thought this is what I want to do as a career. So I went on from there to become a level 2 fitness instructor at the age of 16, and by the time I was 18, I was a level 3 personal trainer. And, you know, personal training is a funny thing, I tell you, because you get all these advertisements online about personal training. It's like, how would you like to make 50, 70, 80,000 pound a year? Yeah, it's hard work, man. People don't understand it. You don't just turn up your clients there and you go home. You know, you're getting texts at 2 a.m. someone crying their eyes out because they've just ordered a kebab with extra garlic mayo, and they want you to reassure them that they're not going to be add on an extra 2 stone by the end of the week. That's the sort of stuff you got to deal with. You take it with you everywhere. And for me, that's what I love about the job. But for a lot of people, they just don't get that. And you know, you've got to be able to talk to people as well, of all ages, all abilities, and all walks of life, really. Because, you know, obviously owning the gym, I've had a lot of personal trainers come to me for work and asking about a job. And I've had people with fucking qualifications falling out their ears, you know, qualifications I've never even heard of, you know, but, you know, more qualified than me, really. And yet you stick them in a real life situation and it's like C3PO, you know, hello, how are you? Today we are going, you know. And then another thing they do is they try and like blow their mind with science, blow their mind with anatomy, you know, like stoking their own ego. And it's like, sometimes, you know, 65-year-old Debbie doesn't need to know about the creatine phosphate system. Debbie just wants to get off the sofa at 2 p.m, pause cash in the attic, and come and get on the bike for half an hour and do a little bit, you know? No one gives a shit. You know, you've got to pick your time and your place with stuff like that, with your scientific talk, and if your client does want to know about it, you let them know. But you've got to be able to sense the, you know, the situation. I believe it's called emotional intelligence, and I think that's where a lot of personal trainers, you know, fall down. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a fucking idiot on the end of a microphone. So yeah, so I qualified as a personal trainer at 18, and then I had a gap year. I worked at Co-op solidly for a year because I wanted to take a bit of money with me before I went to university. And, you know, I think a lot of people have in their mind that working at a supermarket's an easy job. Is it? Hell, Yeah, it's graft, man. I was working on the fruit and veg, and I was also responsible for the bread. And I tell you what, I fucked that up a few times. There was plenty of weeks where we were doing breaststroke through best of both Hovis because I'd ordered about 500 loaves over the maximum. And I used to work down the big Seaton co-op near me, and it was always funny when the delivery come in because the Seagulls, you remember that scene of Finding Nemo when it was like mine, they knew. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw one of them with a pocket watch that he used to pull out of his wing to show the rest of them that the co-op delivery was due. And these things were savages, you know. Yeah, you've heard about these seagulls that fly off with a sandwich and that out of someone's hands. These motherfuckers were after whole boxes of Cocoa Pops. I don't know where they got a taste for Cocoa Pops, but that was the first thing they went for when the delivery lorry pulled up. They were flying off with boxes, and these lot were breaking their damn necks trying to get off the ground with these boxes of Cocoa Pops, man. You know, and we used to have to allocate waste, on the financial spreadsheets. We used to have to allocate how much the seagulls were going to fly off with. And there was always this fucking monster of a bird I used to call Frank. He was an absolute unit. And he was practically flying off with a picnic every week. Like, he used to disappear onto Beer Head and, chill out with the family and have a few scones and a proper spread. He was the provider, definitely, for them lot. So, yeah, I worked at Co-op in my gap year. Got a bit of money behind me, and I went off to Southampton Solent University. Best 3 years of my life, Best 3 years of my life. Super hard course, and that was a degree in health, exercise and physical activity, it was called. I mean, for the first year, I didn't even know the name of the course. It took me to the second year. Like, I don't even really remember the first name. I enjoyed everything that uni had to offer, if you know what I mean. So I did my degree, finished that, and I moved back to Devon, and I was about 23 at this stage, and I started working for a local leisure centre, Leisure East Devon. Absolutely fantastic company. I'm still in touch with a lot of the managers now, and I used to work the evening shift, and I used to go in. It was very busy, and I used to chat to everyone. I've always been fascinated with people, your stories, your life, what you want to do. I don't really do small talk. It bores the hell out of me. So I used to get to know everyone. And at some point I just thought, do you know what? I want to do this myself. I want to create my own brand. I want to do my own business. And being the cocky little shit I was, I thought, I still am, I guess people would say. I put in a business plan to the bank for a bit of money. Not thinking anything of it really. Probably thinking they'd laugh me out the door. And after about 6 months, this bank agreed to lend me this substantial amount of money to set up my own gym. I couldn't believe it. So I managed to find this great location near the new town of Cranbrook. And that was 5 years ago now. And I remember the first day I got the key and opened the door. I just thought, what the fuck have you done here, Ollie? Like, why the hell did you think you can do this? Like I said, I'm just a normal geezer. There's nothing special about me. I can work hard, occasionally tell a funny story. That's it. And that was 5 years ago. And I remember walking into this unit, and I've never been like a labourer. I'm absolutely shit with DIY. Again, I have to Google everything. I have no idea. Like, I probably hold the hammer the wrong way around. So even like the painting, I had a look inside the unit. I was like, yeah, that'll probably take me half a day. Like 2 months later and 3 coats later, I realised the size of the mammoth task I'd taken on. And, with the money thing as well, obviously a lot of your money goes on the gym equipment, doesn't it? But there's so much more to it than people realise. I get people coming in, and I think they can set up a gym on like £5,000. They have no idea. There's stuff you don't think about. Even the flooring, the rubber flooring costs you a fortune. The dumbbells cost you a fortune. The mirrors cost you a fortune. The changing rooms, the water producer. The fuck am I on about? The water fountain. Water producer. Stuff like that you wouldn't even think about. Marketing, leaflets, uniforms, trainers, desk, printers, computers. So I went way over budget. I spent a fortune, and I'd never even had a credit card in my life prior to this. So I was starting to really think, oh shit, I've made a big mistake here. But then the little voice inside my head, the little one that doesn't refuse to give up, was like, nah, we can do this. You can do this. And, you know, for the first year and a half, 2 years, I didn't have a penny. Not a penny. I owed a fortune. It nearly broke me, because when we first opened, my hours were 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. And I worked every single hour for a year and a half. Every single hour. I didn't have a day off, nothing. I wrote every single person's program that come into the gym. You know, I did the cleaning, everything you can think of. I picked the pubes out of the toilet. I washed the urinals down. Every little task you can think of. I just ate like pure shit. I went to bed and then woke up again, and went back to work. I went to bed, woke up, went to work, went to, you know, bed again. You know, just that same routine for a year and a half. And it was graft, you know, it was hard work. And I think, you know, people ask me about setting up a business or setting up a gym, and I say, you know, it's hard work. It's going to be hard work. And I think they think, when I say hard work, I mean like, as in, you know, an extra hour or two overtime compared to when you're on a PAYE job. And I'm like, nah. I'm talking about staring at the ceiling at 12 p.m. at night, thinking about what the hell you've done and how much of your soul you've lost into this place. That kind of hard work, yeah. You can't really put it into words. But out of everything that's important with working for yourself, if you have the ability to work hard, then you can succeed. That's all you need. If you can work hard, you can succeed. That's the most important thing. But you can have all the other skills in the world, I believe. But if you don't have the ability to work hard, really have that grit about you and dig deep, you're not going to make it. You're just not. It will chew you up and it will spit you out. You know, there was many times over that first 2 years. I think I was definitely on the phone to the Samaritans a few times, crying my eyes out. Shout out to the Samaritans for getting me through it. Where I just thought, I can't do this. But then you just grind through it. You grind through it, and every day you just get a little bit closer. So after about 2 years, you know, I started to take some staff on, and you know, I could start to delegate a few things and start to grow the brand even more. And now 5 years on, you know, we've got 2 gyms under the Oliver Joseph brand, and we've survived, or are surviving, a pandemic, which is absolutely insane. You know, can't believe how far we've come, really. And it's been a hell of a journey. You know, I was 24 when I opened up the first gym, 29 now. I'm going to be 30 this year, and I don't even feel like I'm getting warmed up. I only feel like the last 2 years that my personality has really solidified itself. I only really know myself. I've only really become who I was supposed to be in the last 2 years. So I really look forward to the future and you know what it has in store, because like I said, I'm not even got started yet. I want to take over the world. I want to be on the Graham Norton show. That's always been my stupid word. That's always been my measure for success, is appearing on the Graham Norton show. So until then, I will feel like a failure. But the day you see me walking down them steps and Graham greeting me on the show, just know that I'll know I've made it. All right. Anyway, where are we? Somewhere. So that'll do for this week. Hope you enjoyed those musings. So it's a little bit about candles, a little bit about Waitrose, a little bit about Seagulls, and a little bit about starting up your own business and how fucking mad you'd have to be to try it. Okay? So these podcasts are going up every Friday. So yeah, see you next Friday. Take care.